you doing? I have some exciting news of something that happened here in St. Martin that is going to play a huge part in our plans for the boat while she's hauled out this hurricane season. Over the past few years, our boat has undergone extensive warranty repairs, and during that time, significant collateral damage was done to the deck. The original non-skid is created using the Flex-Mold system from Gibco, whose Flex-Mold patterns can be found on a huge range of production boats. Back when we were in Trinidad, where our boat was hauled out for over 600 days for repairs, we were chatting to a local friend about the damage, and he revealed that he had actually met JB, an entrepreneur and expert in marine composites and coatings, who until very recently was actually the owner of Gibco. Based on his knowledge of Gibco and JB, he highly suggested that we reach out to the company for assistance. And once we arrived in St. Martin, that is exactly what we did. Trent sat down and reviewed their online instructional videos, then reached out to Gibco asking them for their opinions on the repair attempts on our boat. After reviewing, they were naturally curious about what had happened and who'd done the work, so Trent gave them a little bit of information about the boat, the warranty, and explained that it was a joint repair team from the broker and the builder who had attempted this work. The conversation continued, and ultimately JB decided to come to St. Martin to review our deck in person, talk to us about the Gibco products, and give us tips on best application practices.
This is the female pattern, right?
Yeah.
And what you want to do is, we've gone online, we looked at the search engine, we made sure this is the right pattern. So you make sure that it locks in place. You put it down, and you want to make sure that this is sat flat for at least at 70 degrees for 24 hours, so it's not all curled up on the edges and it's clean, right? Where you have to do these areas, you're going to take the Dremel tool with the gauge on it, depth gauge, and you're going to set the Dremel tool, the bit to the bottom of what we call the land, which is a line in between the non-skid pattern.
So you're just taking off that texture on top.
That's all you're doing.
Going below that.
And do it in a circle or a cloud formation because the eye picks up anything that's a straight line. You're going to wax the whole area that you're going to repair first. Then you're going to take your Dremel tool and cut with your Dremel tool. You're going to take your pattern, lock it in place, put a piece of tape back here so it acts like a hinge for the material when you pull it back. As we discussed earlier, you're going to get a number 4 Ford cup, and that Ford cup is to measure viscosity. And you're going to get a stopwatch, you're going to pour your gel coat into that cup, and you're going to start your watch, and you're going to run it for about 55 seconds until the cup is empty. That'll tell you the viscosity is correct. You're going to thin it, not thicken it. You're going to use patch aid, because if you use acetone or styrene, it will yellow down the road. It will change color. So use patch aid as a thinning agent. And then you put that into like a ketchup bottle, if you will. So you can squeeze it in here, because you're going to leave this in place and you're going to create a wave of gel coat out in front, making sure there's no air bubbles or anything in it as you go out. And then you're going to take a squeegee and squeegee this tight as hard as you can, because you want to squeeze out all that excess gel coat. And then when it sets, you can peel this off, and because you waxed everything first, all the excess gel coat is going to pop away. And you won't end up with all this porosity because you have thinned out the gel coat. A lot of people like to thicken it, but that's not what you do. You want to thin it, and so it flows easily. Your squeegee will want to stick on this when you first start. You can put a little bit of talcum powder on it to act as a lubricant for it. And then when the excess gel coat comes out, you can use that on the back to push your squeegee and tighten it out. Just leave it alone, let it set, and then peel it off.
As well as Flex-Mold, Gibco have a brand new product called Redeck. It's a unique gel coat based flexible deck option that doesn't add significant weight and can be used for repairs or to replace teak or foam decking. Redeck has an easy peel and stick application method, or you can use epoxy for a permanent bond.
The other way to do it is with the Redeck. So this is a gel coat sheet of the non-skid pattern, and this has a UV package in it. You just cut this to shape because it comes in sheets 4 feet wide and 12 feet long. And you just cut it to whatever shape you want, and it'll come with an adhesive on it. And then you can just peel the adhesive off the back and stick it down in place. And you do it in the same wave-like pattern, so you don't get any air trapped underneath of it. Or you can get it without adhesive, put a super thin coat of epoxy on this, super thin coat of epoxy on the deck, and then you can take this and again, putting it down a wave-like pattern, squeegee out as much of the epoxy as you can, and just let that set up and you're good to go. You can spray gel coat onto it to match color. And my suggestion would be, we're gonna send you guys some Biosolve that we make. It's like an acetone replacement. It's a lot stronger than acetone. And you wipe the surface first, let it flash completely, and then mist your gel coat onto the surface. Do 3 coats, 2 or 3 depending upon what you need to get your color. But you want to mist it on there so it doesn't fill up the lands. Yeah. And that's worked beautifully for us.
Really good guy.
Thanks, man. It's fun to come and see the projects and see what you guys are doing and help you.
The project vote.
Hopefully it comes out well for you, you know, that's the goal.
To say we appreciate JB taking the time to come to St. Martin to our boat would be an understatement. And with Gibco's support, we are planning to redo the non-skid panels on our boat that are damaged during the 6-month hurricane season haul out that we have planned in Trinidad. Why do you want to fight everyone? You woke up and you chose violence today.
Watermaker high pressure pumps busted a seal, so it has a very slow leak between the crankcase and the pump head. So I'm making some space to disassemble the pump head and find what seal's gone bad.
I've changed my shirt into my work clothes because while Tynan is working on the Watermaker and Trent's just doing admin work, which is boring, I am going to be remaking our lifting bridle because we are going to be changing to a thicker line and bigger clips. On our davit, which this whole thing is reinforced, but this one here is our transit bridle, which is the one I'm redoing. And this green one and the spring are our daily lifting bridle. The transit bridle is a lot shorter to hold it up higher, and I'm going to replace this rope with a thicker Dyneema and replace the clips with bigger clips. This here is all within spec. These are the sizes that we've crossed an ocean with, but it's just while we're at this part of the world and we have access to these things, we may as well reinforce it and make it as strong as possible. Heading down to the port hull where our Ecotech Watermaker is installed, can you see that white powder? That's the salt Tynan noticed, which signifies a leak. He decided to pull the pressure pump apart and replace all of the seals at once using the seal kit that had come with the unit. Essentially what I'm doing is just replicating the original. So I've got everything I need in the bag, hanging off the back of the boat so I can actually access the davit because I'm short and can't reach it from on the boat. And got my fids. We have the Selma fid kit, and I've said it before, but if you live on a boat or you're around boats, I highly recommend that you get one of these and you learn how to use it. I'll throw a link in the description to the fid set, and also the Rigging Doctor is probably my favorite YouTube channel for learning how to do this stuff. So let's get going. What I've done so far is just started splicing them onto the bar here. I've done what from memory is called a Brummel lock up the top, and then at the moment I'm just in the process of burying the tail here, and then I'll start working on the bottom of the first one. These two are identical at the top, which I'm really happy with. I'm gonna use this one to get started on the first one on the other side. but it's a little bit swelly between the ferries, the jet skis and everything else. So lots of like fending and moving. Quick intermission while I went to get changed because I feel like I'm getting burnt out here. But the first one is totally finished. I've just clipped them together. So that is overall the same length as each other. That's good. Just 3 more to go, doing the exact same process. And then it'll be done, ready for us to transit. So it'll be another job ticked off the list of things we need to do before we leave St. Martin. Also on that list was resolve the anchor chain, which should be done by the end of tomorrow. And I will share like in a video all the testing that we did and what the actual root cause of the issue was that destroyed a stainless steel chain in a week. And Tynan's got to rebuild the Watermaker. And we have to backfill the front windows, but that's mostly because Tynan's like prepped the whole thing. So if we sail and it gets full of salt, he might cry. So those are like the 4 things that we have to do before we leave St. Martin, and then we can actually go sailing. Would you like to come in the tender? Fine, you can come in. Jump. You don't know why you want to be in here, you just want to be in here. By this stage, Tynan was finishing up with the Watermaker.
And I just decided to go ahead and replace all of the seals with the rebuild kit that we have. Just following the manufacturer's instructions. So far, apart from these, everything else is just kind of dropped into place. So you definitely don't need to force anything. And if you are forcing something, then there's probably picked up the wrong seal.
As I mentioned earlier, we have an Ecotech Watermaker, which we like for its simplicity and generic parts. We will need to get a replacement seal kit though, and a few other things. But as fortune would have it, Ecotech is actually a Trinidadian company, so we'll be able to sort that out pretty easily during the hurricane season. And that is it. Now all that is left is to cut the old ones off. Maybe put a line around the top like I had previously, like just a retaining line, and might color code them. That's it, done.